In this episode, I go over my top 5 picks for New Comic Book Day coming out next week, August 24th, 2022. What's going on, everybody? Justin here, aka No Good Comics, and welcome back to the channel. In this episode, I'm going over my top 5 picks for New Comic Book Day coming out next week, August 24th, 2022. So if you're here for that, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and of course, a huge shout out to everybody in the premiere chat right now, as these videos always premiere on Thursday at 12:30 Eastern. Always appreciate you hanging out with me here. So again, I'm going to go over my top 5 picks. I'm really excited because, again, another great week for comics. Looking forward to what's coming out next, and then, of course, I will wrap it up with my cover buy of the week, so make sure you stick around for that as well. But let's dive right into the list, and I'm going to go with this one right here at number 5, Detective Comics issue 1063. This has kind of been the launch off, or last issue was kind of the launch off of Ram V taking over with Albuquerque doing the artwork, and I liked it. It was a little slower than I had hoped for. From my understanding, Ram V is doing this 4-issue kind of story arc. I don't know if he's going to continue from there or what the plan is. But this is at least how he's kicking things off. I'm a huge fan of Ram V. I love his writing, so I'm hoping to see some really great things from Detective Comics. I haven't read Detective Comics for a while, up until Ram V is now taking over. So I am still very excited and looking forward to seeing like the direction that Ram V goes with this series, and we'll take it from there. I will say, absolutely love the artwork on the interior stuff. So shout out to Albuquerque. He's done some really great stuff. I know I've bought a lot of variants from him in the past, and so he's just slaying it. Definitely has these dark tones to it, so looking forward to seeing where it goes. So that's gonna be my number 5 pick of the week, Detective Comics issue number 1063. Going into number 4 on the week, I will tell you right now, it's a DC heavy week for me, and I feel like it's kind of been that way, kind of on and off. I don't know, I guess maybe I had some indies last week, but for the looking ahead, it's definitely been a lot of DC. I'm going to go with this book right here, Robin, issue number 17. Guys, this series has been phenomenal. It really has, front to back, like just, the minute it kicked off, the writing that, what's his name, Joshua Williamson's doing right now, phenomenal, just really, really well done. They've hopped around a little bit with the artist, but for the most part, it's Roger Cruz, which I think he's noted here, and that's also the cover, which I do really like. So yeah, Roger Cruz, I've been a fan of for all the issues he's done. I want to say they've kind of switched it up, maybe like 3 or 4 issues throughout these last 17 altogether, or last 16. So yeah, I mean, as you can see, this cover really, really cool. Damian Wayne, he's quickly become like one of my new favorites because of this series. So granted, it's been over a year now that this series has been coming out. So I've just been there for all of it. The events that had started it off, him going into this big event, this big tournament. Kind of fighting to the death, trying to gain their immortality, and yeah, just overall really good stuff. And we've kind of gone out of that story arc now at that point, but I'm really looking forward again to just seeing where Damian goes from here, what kind of new tie-ins that they're going to run into, and just generally what direction that Joshua Williamson goes in. So we shall see. I will say again, looking back at this cover, like very close to a cover buy of the week, I have to say. But that's gonna be my number 4 pick of the week, Robin, issue number 17. Going into my number 3 pick, I got, again, more DC for you. It's the Swamp Thing, issue number 16. One of the main reasons I wanted to make sure I had it on the list is because this is the final issue, at least for now, for this series, Swamp Thing, which has been written by Ram V being twice on this list this week. I've loved what he's done. Absolutely loved it. There's been maybe 1 or 2 issues that were not as I think they had like some tie-ins with some of the other events that were going on, like maybe like Fear State, and some other things that I didn't care for as much. But other than that 1 or 2 issues, this series has been phenomenal. Love the artwork. Mike Perkins is on here. I think Perkins has been on this for a majority, I want to say 90%. I think they had like a change up in 1 or 2 issues, but otherwise Perkins has been the man. Really just killing it. Absolutely killing it. Love the dark vibes. I also like that this is a series that anybody could jump into, whether you knew about Swamp Thing or not, whether you've ever read before any Swamp Thing or not. I was fairly new to the character going into this. The only thing I had read was some of Alan Moore's stuff from back in the day. So, but I will say there's no required reading really. You could dive right into this because this Swamp Thing is a different character altogether, under a different name, just taking over the mantle of the Green. So again, if you're not familiar with Swamp Thing, if you've never read any of it before, but you're into like horror type stuff and you like Ron V, you like Mike Perkins, then I would say definitely check this out. It's a perfect time to, at this point, it's going to be, done. It'll be collected. So you could go through and buy the whole thing. I know the first story arc was out in trade a while ago. So I imagine the second trade will be coming up here shortly for that. So it would be really cool if they did like some sort of hardcover for this series, because I mean, that's something I would buy for sure. And I think it fits well. Now, granted, I should have noted earlier, this was supposed to be only 10 issues initially. So that was the other big thing. They tacked on an extra 6 for, I don't know what exactly the reasoning was. I know that they liked what Ram V was doing. So I imagine there was just more storytelling with that aspect of things, and just signing him to a longer deal. I know Ram V's obviously doing other stuff with DC, as we just talked about Detective Comics. But so this is, as of right now, the final issue, as it says here on the cover, 16 of 16. We'll see if they pick it back up, if they pass it on to Ram to continue to do more, or if that's really it for this particular series. But either way, I'd be happy with kind of what he's done. I mean, granted, hopefully this last issue really closes it out well. So I'm looking forward to it. But we'll see where it goes. But that's definitely going to be my number 3 pick of the week, The Swamp Thing, issue number 16 by Ram V. Going into my number 2, it's more DC. So again, I warned you already, there's a lot of DC stuff here. I am going with this book right here. It is Tales of the Human Target, issue number 1. Now, if you followed me from the past like 6, 7, 8 months ago when Human Target, the main series was coming out, Tom King, I've been obsessed. It was like a number 1 for me almost every time on my list, anytime that it was coming out, like every month. It was like up there, number 1, number 2 on my top 5, because it's been that damn good. And so for this series, and I should note too, they didn't finish that series yet. That's still going. So kind of in between, it's like halfway done. I think it was like 12 issues altogether. They did 6. They're back here with throwing this kind of in the middle of it. And this, from what I understand, this series is going to kind of take place and tell a little bit about Christopher Cross, Human Target, before he had gotten into some of the trouble that he had gotten into with the current situation that he's in, where he had gotten poisoned essentially. Again, this is something I should always note. This is new reader friendly. There's nothing, I don't know anything about Christopher Chance, didn't know anything about Human Target, like nothing before this. So if you're on the fence about this or just kind of curious about it, I would say, and I've said this before, but I highly recommend checking out the main series, probably before you read this, as this is now landing in the middle, even though it takes place prior to the storyline that's current. But Tom King doing a tremendous job. One thing though, I do see here, the artists are a little different here. Let's see, so Greg Smallwood, he's been doing the artwork. That's one of the main reasons I fell in love with the series. Other than the fact that it's Tom King, right? I see Tom King's name on it, I'm automatically giving it a shot. But Greg Smallwood also being involved with this, as I started flipping through the pages, immediately fell in love. I love all the cover A's that he does. He did this cover here as well, so I'm just collecting all the cover A's because I just fall in love with every single one of them. And from there, I noticed that there are 3 other artists that are listed, one being Albuquerque, Raphael Albuquerque, which I talked about from the Detective Comics stuff, so that's cool to see that he's somewhat involved. Again, I don't know if they're splitting this up into multiple stories or if they're just letting all 4 kind of team up. But Mikkel Janin is another artist, and Kevin McGuire is the 4th artist on here altogether, again with Greg Smallwood. So definitely curious to just kind of see what this is. And again, from my understanding, kind of takes place before the main story that's being written right now with Tom King. So we'll see. Again, really cool kind of 007 cover. Love the color. So yeah, I'm down for all of it. And honestly, you should be too. If you haven't read any of it, I do recommend going back, reading that first trade, because it's probably out by now. And then maybe checking this issue out. So that's gonna be my number 2 pick of the week, Tales of the Human Target, issue number 1. All right, we're moving and grooving here. Under 10 minutes so far, and I'm just about to get into my number 1 pick. And then, of course, make sure you stay tuned afterwards, because I will go over my cover buy of the week. I just want to remind everybody, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. The summer has been flying by. Maybe you followed. I've been doing a lot of traveling recently. Did a bunch of different Comic Cons and things like that. So it's just been a crazy summer, a lot of fun. But the content will kind of pick up again as we get into the fall here. also excited for football season, so I gotta watch my football. So but yeah, so leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on this list so far. Curious what you're reading. Let me know if there's something you think I missed. I'm always open for that. But I do appreciate you hanging out with me here. Let's get into my number one pick of the week, and I'm going with this book's right here. AXE Judgment Day issue number 3. This event, and yes, this is Marvel, by the way. We finally got to something other than DC in here. This book right here, or this series right here, I've been just raving about. Absolutely loved the last issue. Loving all the tie-ins that are coming into it right now. Mark Brooks doing the cover art here, which has just been phenomenal. I should note that Kieran Gillen being the writer on this. Valerio Schiti, he's doing the artwork, the interior stuff. It's all been beautiful, and the story's been epic. So if you guys don't know, AXE, it stands for Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals. It's kind of been this massive war, three-way war that's kind of going on between them. There's kind of been a little bit of a mix-up, or I don't know what you want to call it, maybe some power hunger that's coming from Druig, the head Eternal right now, that's kind of leading them, and he essentially is putting blame on the X-Men, saying that they are deviants, and that they're essentially wants to take them out because that's how Eternals are programmed to protect the world. So he's kind of guiding his own army. However, there's also some other Eternals, the ones that you may know, from the movies and stuff like that, who are not part of Druig's plan. Druig kind of being like Loki in a way. He's kind of like this sketchy dude who has his own agenda, and very power hungry. So the other Eternals are kind of working with some of the Avengers to kind of help break this whole thing up, almost like a misrepresentation of who they really are. And so Tony Stark and Captain America and all them, they're kind of working on some things right now. Also, there's just like destruction in the world because of this war that's happening right now, where some of the team, like Captain Marvel and Thor, they've had to run off to go like save other parts of the world. They had mentioned the Philippines in this last issue that I read, with like these massive tidal waves and things like that. So just literal destruction of the world that's happening right now. So some of the Avengers are being pulled in that direction. Meanwhile, X-Men too, like they're trying to fend for themselves. They're being attacked, right? For reasons they're not quite sure of, other than Eternals are bad. Like, why are they coming after us? Again, Druig's army being the case. So they're kind of in the middle of all this. They're also trying to be reasonable with the Avengers as well. So again, kind of a three-way war that's going on right now. And it's just been epic. So if you haven't read the earlier stuff, I do recommend it. Like, I know it's a lot to say to keep up with X-Men, but it's so worth it. The payoff is so worth it if you if you take the time to read it. I know there's a lot. And then same thing with Eternals. I really enjoyed Eternals that Kieran Gillen was writing. He wrote those 12 issues. He did 2 one-shots, and now he's in full control over this whole event, the Judgment Day event. So really enjoying what he's doing right now as a whole. I haven't really paid attention to any of the Avengers stuff, but I said this last time, like I know the Avengers generally speaking, so I feel like I don't need to read too in depth with kind of where their characters are right now. Having 2/3 of really knowing the details of what's built up to this, I feel confident in that. So otherwise, if you're jumping into this randomly, like issue 1, Judgment Day, I don't know how much of it's going to stick for you. I think it can still be enjoyable. The artwork's still awesome. It's still a lot of action going on, but it might not hit home, compared to those who have read the prior stuff. So just something to note, but definitely, it's my number 1. I'm that excited for Judgment Day stuff. So anything Judgment Day related, all the tie-ins, I'm reading all of it. So would love to hear your thoughts on this pick that I have, my number 1 pick. Are you reading the Judgment Day event? Did you read the stuff prior to this? What are your thoughts right now? Are you enjoying it? Leave a comment in the comment section below. I do appreciate it. But yeah, that's going to be my number 1 pick of the week, Axe Judgment Day issue number 3. Let's get into my, before you go, let's get into my cover buy of the week here. We're going to go back to DC. Now, this is a series that I'm not currently reading. However, I've had a few friends recommend this series to me and that I should pick it up and maybe go back even to the trade prior to what's out right now. But the book I'm talking about is Action Comics, and the cover I'm talking about is this cover right here, Action Comics 1046. This is the B cover, the Lee Bermejo cover, the cardstock. So Let me just say, Lieber Mayhew, he's so talented. I mean, I see all his work that he does on, the Batman stuff, Detective Comics, whichever the Batman series that he was doing, all the cover Bs for. I think one of the reasons he's never actually made my cover buy of the week, with all those Batman covers, is because I'm not necessarily a fan of like darker covers. I like color added right into my covers, and brighter ones. Maybe this is why I like the Human Target stuff, with Smallwood. So, but for me to put this up here, I'm on a huge Superman kick. Right, I've been loving all the Superman stuff. I'm reading a lot of stuff, the new stuff, the old stuff, watching the TV series, all these different things. But on top of that, I just think this is a stunning cover. Like, I just love, this is everything that, Superman represents in terms of, he's got the people there at the bottom behind him. He's protecting, bullets kind of firing off of him. And then the detail, this is what Bermayhew is all about, right? Like the detail that he puts in these covers is just so mind blowing. Guy's so talented. So again, I think it stands out even more to me because it's a little brighter of a cover. And so that to me is why, again, just kind of scrolling through, this caught my attention the most. This is certainly a cover I must own. So again, that's what, cover buys of the week are for me. It's the cover that I have to have in my collection, whether I'm reading the series or not. I'm not currently reading Action Comics, but it is something I plan on kind of going back to, and filling in at least the past like 6 or 7 issues, whatever the last story arc was before this one. So I think that's my plan. That's what I'm going to do. But yeah, so Bermayhew, he really took it here. Absolutely stunning stuff. And we'll definitely be buying this variant. But yeah, so that's going to be my cover buy of the week. Let me know what you think. Let me know, do you have a cover buy of the week? Is there something that you're buying? Let me know in the comment section below. I appreciate it. As always, for those watching, if you're here live in the premiere chat, thank you so much for spending some time with me here on this Thursday afternoon. Otherwise, if you're watching this on your own time, I appreciate that as well. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out. And until next time, I will talk to you later.